Present are Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Palacios, Precinct 2, Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Anyone sign up?
Monica? No, sir.
No. Okay, a consent agenda, any concerns?
No concerns, Judge.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 4,
Excuse me. Item 4A, approval of settlement statement from Valley Land Title Company on parcel number 3 in the amount of $13,415 plus $1,246.99 for closing fee regarding Fayetteville project, and that is to Jaime Javier Salinas.
Move for approval.
Second.
those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, approval of settlement statement from Valley Land Title Company on parcel number 5 in the amount of $139,775 plus $2,235.34 for closing fees regarding Fayetteville. This is to Holt Cat.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 5, Bond Series 2013, approval of the following settlement statements for parcel 41, 42, 43, 58, and 59 as they relate to the J09 project plus closing fees to Valley Land Title Company. Parcel number 41, $35,189 plus settlement fees of $1,282.99. Parcel 42, $42,385 plus settlement fee of $1,098.34. Parcel number 43, $55,518 plus settlement fees of $1,194.34. And parcel number 58 and 59, $55,000 plus settlement fees of $1,453.99. These have all been previously approved by the board, yet we need to bring them back with the closing fees associated with it.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 6, authorization to acquire LJ drainage improvements out of the 2013 bond series, asset acquisition proceeds for Precinct 2, subject to Drainage District, auditing and legal review. This is one of the projects that's set up in the bond issue for us to recover the assets that the precinct had expended or constructed.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
We'll be coming back to the board.
Hold on, Governor. Commissioner had a question.
This includes only the, from where to where?
Whatever your plan designated, Commissioner, I think was the balance of the parcel. We had already acquired one before under the LJ. This includes the holding pond, the drain ditches, your excavation. We've received an appraisal report from Yonel Garza from your office. It is over legal for him to begin the research and getting the proper documents for it. There's a memorandum of agreement coming before the board and to the Commissioner's Court within the next couple of weeks to clarify and get the final authorization for this acquisition. But I believe it lists all your acquisition, Commissioner, including the land costs, the construction costs, the engineering costs. Everything has been itemized in there.
Do you have all the documentation on taking over the drain ditches?
No, sir, we do not have. That is part of the documentation the legal is going to be requesting, which is the title reports, all of the backup data that's going to be associated for the acquisition of it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
Thanks, sir. Item 7A, requesting approval to rescind action taken on March 11, 2014, agenda item number AI 43463C as it relates to advertising for RFB number HCDD1 14-009-0407 pipes and box covers. The reason we're rescinding action, we're going to remove some of the items that we had on that advertisement, which were the arch plates. Those were the ones we're having trouble with, Commissioner, that they burned and deteriorated. So we're going re-advertising and take those particular materials out of our bid.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, requesting approval to rescind action taken June 17, 2014, agenda item number AI 44991B as it relates to advertising for RFB number HCDD1 14-017-07-16 pipes and box covers. It's a similar advertisement.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, requesting approval to advertise RFP number HCDD1 14-033-12-18, reinforced concrete pipe, tongue and groove, reinforced concrete rubber gasket, polyethylene, and HP Storm polypropylene pipe.
Joe?
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D, request exempting from competitive bidding requirements under the Texas Local Government Code Section 262.024A for a professional service.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E, presentation of scoring grid for the purpose of ranking by HCDD1 Board of Directors of firms graded and evaluated through the district's approved pool of professional engineering in connection with professional engineering services requirements for Precinct 2, Las Mitas Road Crossing, South Floodway Channel, east of Alamo Road. The three firms that were ranked were R. Gutierrez Engineering, L&V Engineers, and Meldon and Hunt, with a scoring grid of 97 for Gutierrez Engineering, 96 for L&V, and 95 for Meldon Hunt. These were the rankings that were provided to us by the precinct.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item F, requesting approval for the Hidalgo County Drainage System Number 1 to negotiate agreement for professional engineering services with the number 1 ranked firm of R. Gutierrez Engineering Corporation for the provision of professional engineering services required for Precinct 2, Las Mitas Road Crossing, South Floodwater Channel, east of Alamo Road.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under 2013 Bond Series, item G, requesting approval to change order number 5 with IPR South Central to extend contract time as it relates to construction contract number TP07-13 Precinct 2 Radar Drain Reroute Project. I do have the project engineer here, Mr. Fred Kurtz from Meldon and Hunt. If there's any specific questions from the board, what we're doing is doing an extension of time, trying to get all the documentation closed. Mr. Kurtz?
Yes, sir. If there's any questions, we've completed the construction. We're just trying to get the closeout documents completed on this job.
It should be completed by when?
I think we're extending this one 60 days. Just
60?
Yeah, just to make sure we have plenty of time this time to get the documents completed.
Move for approval.
Second.
Second.
All right, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thanks, Fred. Item H, requesting approval of change order number 1 with RDH Side and Concrete LLC to extend contract time due to rain days as it relates to construction contract number HCDD114-010-05-6 Precinct 2 Rural Drainage Development, Seminole Valley Subdivision Area Drainage Improvements. It's about a 23-day extension. Part of it is rain days and part of it is for delivery of materials. The engineer has signed off on it.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item I, request approval to advertise RFP number HCDD1-14032-12-17, main floodwater channel, weir number 5, slope repairs.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 8, request approval to issue manual check after review and audit procedures have been completed. Application for payment number 4, retainage release in the amount of $38,558 to FJW Construction LLC for construction contract number HCDD1-13-11-19C-J09 drainage improvements phase 1 construction.
Move for. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 9, I'll let Ms. Briones present that. They placed that on the agenda.
Item 9, we have Mr. Ramirez coming in here to explain the different resolutions. We have request approval of a resolution amending the delegating resolution previously approved on October 28, 2014. And then item B is request approval of resolution amending the terms of the 2007 Series Unlimited Tax Improvement Bonds.
Good morning, Commissioners and Judge.
Morning,
This is
Judge.
item number 9. As you know, you've authorized already a resolution to refund your 2007 series bonds. In order to refund those bonds, we have to purchase government securities, deposit those in an escrow, and then fund the P&I payments as they come due. The old order, the 2007 order, or resolution, I'm sorry, provides that we can only deposit direct government securities, which would be treasury notes and treasury bonds. What this order does is it allows us to expand the securities to agencies and instrumentalities, and that allows us a broader source of securities and reduces the overall cost of issuance, estimated by about $50,000. So what these resolutions do, one, is we amend the 2007 order to allow for those securities, and then two, we amend the delegating order for the refunding bonds to provide the same. We ask that you approve that. Do you have any questions?
So move.
Second.
Those in, excuse me, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We do have an item under closed session for the board's consideration.
Pursuant to 55107-1 and 072, need a motion to proceed to executive session.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor say aye. It's 9:33 or 23.
Virginia.
Virginia.
Did you put this here?
All right, we're back in open session on our Drainage District meeting.
Judge,
Go ahead,
Commissioners,
sir.
we have a parcel, number parcel 57 on the J09 drainage improvements belonging to a Mr. Rafael Romeo Reyes. We have an appraised value of $8,786 with a counter offer and final offer of $10,786 for the board's consideration.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much, Judge, Commissioners. That's all I've got.
Stand.
Anything else?
No, sir, that's all I've got.
Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much,
sir.
Judge, Commissioners.
Que le llevo Valdez la pluma, Valdez.
Ahí me lo prestaron ese.
I had to steal one from Stan. Ahí está esa.
Me la prestan, me la acaban de prestar. Sí. Se la quité al comisionado Cuellar. Tantito, me iba perdiendo. Wait for him. or-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can wait.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Looks like a bird. Hello. How are you?
Stand. Stand.
That's good.
Stand. Stand.
Esta gente de México, tío. Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to this Hidalgo County Commissioners Court meeting for today, November the 18th, 2014. The entire court being present, we have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father in heaven, thank you for this day. Thank you for saving us from a freeze last night. I do always give you thanks, and I always give you credit for whatever blessings or whatever comes into our lives. And please, dear Lord, bless this group of people who work together and try to do good things for the county. Help us work together. Help us have a good attitude. Help us always keep in mind that everything we do is for your glory. And we ask this in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Our consent agenda, any concerns?
I don't have any concerns on the consent agenda, Judge. Unless
approval.
anyone else has any, recommend approval.
For approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right, under open forum, we have two presenters. First presenter is Virginia Townsend.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I kind of think you all need a refresher course in nepotism and also ethics.
On what?
Because ethics and
was that?
nepotism.
Oh, okay.
You passed the policy in February of 2008, and I think you guys need to have a workshop or something and talk about it. But last week, I was a little bit surprised that one of your members who had, I thought, definitely a conflict.
Virginia, are you referring to me? I think we cleared this issue with legal counsel. I don't think there was an issue of any violation on nepotism or ethics.
Well, you know, legal counsel doesn't consider a brother first sanguinity, but I do. And I think if I had that situation, and I'm hoping anybody else who had that situation, would not only not vote or have any part, they should leave the room when their discussion is going on. Now, that's how far I think ethics takes us. I know it's not the law. I'm not saying you broke the law. I'm saying on the side of ethics, I expect you all to do sometimes the hard thing. I don't expect you to go along with whatever is comfortable or whatever legal counsel, if it's legal, then I can do it. I don't think that's right. So that's my opinion. I was disappointed, and I expect you guys to brush up a little bit on what ethics are. Thanks.
Next presenter is Fern McLarty.
Good morning. I am here today because I read a newspaper article that you should celebrate small victories because they are few and far between. Therefore, I would like to thank all those that voted against the creation of the hospital district. This was a very much a grassroots movement by 37,000 people throughout Hidalgo County, saying they did not want an increase in their taxes so that hospital corporations could make greater profits. All the hospitals in Hidalgo County are making a profit or they would not stay in business. The idea that public money should be used to pay hospitals for uncompensated costs when they are making a profit is ridiculous. Paying these costs would simply increase their profits. Creating a hospital district would increase property taxes for those families struggling to support their families and in many cases result in their losing their homes. Mayor Beto Salinas said it clear. What's wrong with these people? Can't they see that people are having a hard time with their household bills? What makes this victory much more impressive was to find that the groups of the hospitals that are losing so much money spent $400,000 in an advertisement to support the passing of this bill. An article by 710 KURB radio station dated October 23, 2014, and Channel 5 News stated that the groups supporting the creation of the hospital district contributed $200,000 the last 2 years in campaign contributions to Chuy Hinojosa. It is my understanding that the salary of a Texas senator is about $7,200 a year. So choosing to support the creation of a hospital was not a difficult decision to make. It was also interesting to see how many of our elected officials are receiving contributions. So why the big push to this create a hospital district is simple. 8 cents, the annual income is $23 million, 25 cents, $72 million, and 75 cents would bring in a whopping $216 million forever and ever. Once the voters approve the creation of the hospital district board makes all future decisions. This is a property tax, so if you do not pay your taxes, the county can take your home. The really sad outcome of this election is the people had lost all trust now in their elected officials. Our elected officials do not seem to understand that the people do not want a hospital district, a new courthouse, a road that leads to confiscation of private property. What we want is smaller government that stops creating regulations and increasing taxes. What we want is improved law enforcement in rural areas. We want to be safe in our communities. We want to take care of creating jobs and economic development. And the main thing I want to say today is I want to give God the glory for the win. It was like David and Goliath, and once again the Lord came through. And then at the meeting, at the last one that I was at a couple of weeks ago, people signed up to speak in open forum, and I looked in the rules of procedure, conduct, and decorum of the County Commissioners Court, and it says that you will have 30 minutes to speak on something, and that there will be 6 members. And it all states to extend possibility, try to have 3 against and 3 for. Y'all did not do that. There were 2 against, and there were 6 for. So when you make rules, see if we can follow them. I mean, it didn't seem quite fair that it was loaded, and then you cut down the time on a few of us that were not expecting and didn't know about it.
I think you need to read it again. When it talks about a total of 15 minutes.
No, it says 30 minutes.
Well, on an issue. On an issue.
Yes.
30 minutes total, but
Yes.
15 minutes on that particular issue.
No, it says 30 minutes, and it says that count on such an agenda item shall be limited to 30 minutes. In the event that more than 6 members of the public wish to participate, then it goes in to extend possibility to ask if they're, and try to get an equal amount for and against, which the court did not. So I just brought that up. I read it, and that's the way I read it. Thank you.
All right. At this time, I'm going to be moving up item 9, our county clerk's office. We have present Mr. Guajardo, our county clerk, and Annette, I understand you're going to make the presentation.
Judge, initially we had just put notice on the agenda, but I think it was more important, well, Mr. Guajardo felt it was more important that we actually show you what's going on at the county clerk's office. So if it's okay with you, I'd like to do just a quick presentation.
Yes, no, I mean,
Okay.
take the time that you need.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. I think you guys are aware of the issues that have been taking place at the courthouse, the flooding and the water coming in underneath the walls and what have you. And this is as a result of us trying to fix up the place. Some of our flooring got pretty damaged with this last flood. I mean, we got a significant amount of water in. We've gotten water before on many other occasions, but this time was pretty bad. We probably had 6 inches in the whole floor in there. So as a result, we have to remove the carpet and move all our stations, workstations and what have you. And that's why we're here, to let you guys know that unfortunately we're going to have to close a day in that area because the amount of work and the people that are going to have to come in, the crews, and to remove some of the contaminants that are there and what have you. So Annette's going to share a little bit of what we got going on over there.
What I had put together was showing, the water damage that we've had in our office. We've had it all over the office. I wish it was just, one area, but we've had it actually in our civil department, criminal. We've had damage to carpets, workstations, battery backups. We've had a lot of floor damage. We've had our deed record area. We've actually had the county clerk's office also, and damage to newly installed criminal stations. We had worked really hard to save up money to fix up our criminal department, something that we work with every year to try to improve our office. 3 weeks after the installation, we had water coming in from the ceiling. We've had water that came into our server area. It's a $25,000 server. Water came in. And this has been, different things that have happened. And I think the main thing that needs to be understood is where the water is coming from. I wish it could be just one place, but we've had broken water lines in the ceiling, keeping in mind that our ceiling is the floor to the second floor. We've had broken sewer lines. We've had clogged drain pipes that back up. We've had leaks in the roof every time it rains. We've had leaks in the exterior walls. We've had clogged storm pipes and water in the ceilings. I can go on and on and on and tell you, but I think the pictures will speak for themselves. This is water that came into our criminal area that damaged our ceiling. Because the water just stays in there, of course, it starts to bulge up. That was in an area that, of course, we have our public area coming through. The workers had to work around, our employees. This is all the damage that was done. Again, this is where our new workstations were at, and they got damaged. We've had equipment that has gotten wet, and a lot of times we walk into this. This is Monday morning, and we walk in and find this. All our files, I'm very happy to say, I'm very proud to say that everything in our office has been digitized. So even though these records were damaged, these, for example, we had to freeze to get them not to get contaminated, not to get any mold on them, but that took a lot of time. But everything we do have backed up as digital. This is where our server is. This is our server, our main server that really controls everything that we have in our office. That water came in. This was a broken sewer line, as a matter of fact. Again, we have to deal with this. There has been extensive damage to our floor. This doesn't even seem like a work area, but it is. All of our carpet has been wet. We've little by little been able to change tile to tile to try to make it easier to clean up. We've been very fortunate that we have, I feel, and I know Mr. Guajardo has also talked to the staff, that our staff has been very patient and very understanding. We work through and keep it open for the public. This is the front area where the last time that water came in, it got all our carpet. It went underneath the counter, and this is actually the front part of the county clerk's office. And actually, that dark spot, that was water. And again, the maintenance people come in. They have been tremendous in helping us, trying to get things back in order. But our staff has worked through noise, through smell, you can see the line right there, all the way the water went all the way up that way the last time the water came in. That's what's being removed now for this time that we're going to be asking for time off. This is our break room. So there's no area that's safe. This is our break room. Water came in the last time that it rained. It came in, seeped in from the ground as far as we know. All of this went to this is the break area. They had to take out all of that because the tile was actually coming up. This was the damage that was done by the water. There was a drain under there that apparently had backed up. The problem that we have seen is that they try to fix one area and the pressure goes somewhere else. This is our deed record area. The water that came from the break area came into the deed record area. We had just finished fixing that up. We have our books that were redone. We have real nice shelves. All of that had to be moved out because there was water everywhere. This is the county clerk's office. That was all the water that came into his area. I didn't have a picture of our conference room that also got wet. Again, the water, once they fix an area, the water comes up somewhere else. This is actually the sink in the break room. Water was coming up, and I thought this was important to show that had feathers coming up through the water. And, we're also concerned about health, the health issues that all of this is causing. And I just threw this in there also to kind of enlighten people. It's not just the water damage. This is what the clerks walk into in the morning. This is on their desk. These are particles that are just everywhere. Every morning there has to be, dusting because stuff that's coming in through the vents. So as a result of all of this, we've been able to work, around the people coming in, cleaning and making changes. Unfortunately, this time around, we cannot do it. Mr. Guajardo had asked that the repairs be done over the weekends. The repairs that have to be done cannot be done split in 2 different weekends. It has to be done, a certain amount of days. So the only thing that we could come up with being for us to close on a Friday, which actually they'll start working Thursday night. It will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we'll be open Monday at noon, right after lunch. We have worked with the executive office. Stan has worked very closely with us, which we appreciate all his help, and we do appreciate Buildings and Ground, that every time that we've had something like this, they've been there and able to help us keep going, and keep providing service to the public, which is one of the most important things that we've always done. But this time it's gotten to be too much.
What about the deadlines that need to be met?
Well, we're hoping that because we're making the announcements early enough that people will be aware of that. There is e-filing, there is e-recording, means electronically, they can still do that. I have looked up several Attorney General's opinions that says that it can be allowed, that we will accept those documents as if they were recorded on that day, because this is an emergency. I mean, this is not something that we're just wanting to do.
Very good. Thank you.
So I don't know what else we can add. And
Are there any questions from any member of the courts? I mean, it just points out the problems that we have with the courthouse.
And like I said, if it was just one single thing, it's not. There's very old pipes that run through there, and we just never know what to expect. I don't know about the other areas in the courthouse. I'm sure that they've had their issues, but I don't know if as many as we've had.
As I shared with you when I first walked up here, Judge, I've been there now going on 16 years. We've probably had that area flood probably 30 times in those 16 years. This is one of the worst. This one caused us, now we're going to have to take out the carpet and the tile that's underneath. Here it might have asbestos, so there's cleanup crews, all kinds of people that are going to have to go in there, which is why it's going to require us to close for this amount of time. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's not our choice, but we just have to make do with what we've got. So we have to come before the court and let you know that this is what we're proposing to close the office. So that's why we're here.
Well, thank you.
Now, the whole area is going to be sealed off. We've been told by our vendor that they're going to seal the whole area off once they're doing that work. So
Do we have a cost of what all of this runs, or?
Well, the budget office and the executive office have pretty much taken the lead on the cost, and you guys.
Valde said not to worry, he's got the check.
No, we've been working closely.
I guess no insurance, right, for
No,
stuff like
no,
that?
not in this particular case, no. But we've been working closely with the county clerk's office, and to that end, as these incidents or these issues have been arising, we've been addressing them little by little, and I've worked with Sergio. So this is why it's taken as long as it's taken, so that we could identify those funds both internally and externally. And I will say this, that the county clerk's office has helped us out tremendously by looking from within and making do without some areas that they wanted to accomplish this year, so that we could bridge the difference that we were lacking in the funding. So, but funding at this point has been addressed so that we can do the repairs that need to be done here at the county clerk's office.
And as I said, Judge, we are very grateful to the fact that they come out immediately. The problem is they fix one area, the pressure is going to go somewhere else, and that's what we've been seeing more than anything else. They fix one area, and, it comes up somewhere else. I don't know how to address that, aside from knocking everything, all the walls down and finding out what's there, but, it's not working. It's not working. And again, I do want to thank our staff, because they really have put up with a lot. If anybody's ever walked in there when something like this has happened, the noise, and again, the smell sometimes, and they've been, really good troopers that they've stayed there, and we've served the public.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Get her done.
Get her done.
We will be back in the next 2 weeks just to re-announce, and I will get with the public information department to put out press releases to make sure that everyone's aware of the fact that we're going to be closing.
Good.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. All right, next item is under 6A. Discussion and action to amend the Hidalgo County Tax TIRZ policy.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Based on last week's action, we met with legal, and they proposed some changes to the item. The two most specific changes were the creating a special circumstance. So Michael's passing out the policy, but if you look at page 6 at item number 3A, I, and 2, the special circumstance to allow us to go in excess of the 50% of the M&O tax rate on an abatement would be if the project were to include a zone greater than 500 acres. The zone is entirely within an ETJ of a municipality creating the zone, and the zone must be annexed by the municipality within 12 months of the creation of the zone. And also, the municipality will be responsible for services, i.e. police, fire, road maintenance within the zone that, absent the annexation and creation of the zone, would be the county's obligation. And the other one would be on page 7 of 8, and that would be number 7, that the aggregate amount of the county's participation in the TIR shall not exceed either I, which is creating the creating municipality's total contribution to a zone, unless a special circumstance apply and the municipality is contributing a greater percentage of its tax rate than the county is contributing. Those are the two main changes that were made to modify the policy.
You need action on this?
Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Now, this is the order that you're proposing that we adopt?
Yes.
And it was prepared by Mr. Crane, or?
Yes.
All right. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
And then item number 2 is a discussion, consideration, and action on a resolution expressing intent of Hidalgo County to participate in the proposed tax increment reinvestment zone number 1, City McAllen, the zone at a participation rate of 77% of the M&O portion of the county's tax rate, conditioned upon the creation of the zone and negotiation of an acceptable interlocal agreement between the City of McAllen and the county.
Valde, normally when a TIRZ is created, there's about 2-3 agenda items that are presented. One is a waiving of a 60-day policy, and the other one is designating a county representative. We're not at that point yet, or?
No.
Okay.
Again, this is just the resolution of intent. We'll come back with interlocals with Steve at a later point.
Move for approval of 6A2.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners. Our next item is item B, 6B.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Julia Benitez Sullivan, Public Affairs Director. On the agenda, we have recognition of Hidalgo County's Health and Human Services Administrative Officer, Eddie Olivares, for winning the award of the 2014 Texas Preparedness Leadership from the Texas Department of State Health Services. And to introduce him and to say a little bit about the significance of this award is the person who nominated him, Nancy Trevino, the Assistant Director of Public Health and Emergency Preparedness, and Eddie.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners, and others. This is an award that was presented to Mr. Olivares just a couple of weeks ago. Eddie has been involved in healthcare for over 25 years, focusing on public health priorities, program and policy development. He has set his interests and vision on public health. He has been a visionary for Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Department, and he has set very high priorities for developing programmatic standards. With the use of cutting-edge technologies and through his engagement in policy, which emulates health and a proactive change for this county, Mr. Olivares continues to serve his community by being an exemplary leader, and leaving his imprint on this community is a legacy. It is a great honor to recognize Eduardo Eddie Olivares for the Award of Excellence in Texas Public Health Leadership for his contribution as a true visionary and humanitarian to the citizens of the Lower Rio Grande Valley region. Mr. Olivares, and here is your award.
Yes, thank you. There we go. Thanks. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like to, first of all, thank God.
Eddie, before you begin your speech, let me congratulate you. I think we all need to congratulate you.
Thank you, Judge. Like I was saying before, I'd really like to thank God for guiding us through all these difficult challenges we've had over the years, and really thank our team. We have a wonderful team. We have Ms. Eva Rubio, who is the coordinator for our program, Ms. Nancy Trevino, who's the assistant coordinator, who just stepped up. We have Sandra Garza, who is one of our auditors and reviewers internally, and Ms. Misty Raines, who oversees some of our public affairs efforts within our department. And they've done a wonderful job in helping our community, along with the entire Health and Human Services Department, all 189 employees, in partnership with Commissioners Court and all the department heads here in Hidalgo County. This award is something that it's not deserved from my part, it's deserved by the team, and the team is the one that earned this. So thank you very much, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you for the work you do, Eddie. Eddie.
Yes, sir.
I think they're going to build a trophy case.
No, sir.
It was like a statue there. Great place.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 3. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Congratulations, Eddie. Thank you.
Item 6C, the appointment or reappointment of members to the South Texas Independent School District Board of Directors. There's 4, as I understand it, there's 4 vacancies that, and that all 4 of these positions that are the individuals that currently hold them.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. There are currently 4 positions that South Texas ISD has asked us to consider, and the 4 positions that are being considered for commissioners, and the judge is recommending from Commissioner Court, it's Mr. Javier Farias from McAllen, who currently serves on the Policy and Curriculum Committee, Mrs. Maria G. Leal from Palmhurst. She currently serves on the Finance Committee. Mrs. Berta Palacios from San Juan. She currently serves on the Policy and Curriculum Committee. Dr. Richard Fleming from Mission, he currently serves on the Building and Grounds Committee. Every one of these board members has met the requirements that is required of them to go through the training. And According to Dr. Guerra, Dr. Marla Guerra, the superintendent, she feels that all of them have done just a terrific job and is very pleased with the recommendation.
Move for approval.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. 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 Motion carries unanimously. All right, next item is item number 7. Mr. Guerra.
Thank you, Judge. Item 7A, 1 and 2, there's no action to be taken unless there's action to be taken further down the agenda. Item B, we do have a presentation on the first and second floor administration. I'll ask Mr. Palacios to come to the podium. There has been quite a bit of activity at the old administration building. So with that being said, Mr. Palacios.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge. Are we up and running? Okay. Again, good morning. My name is Alex Palacios with Prodigy Construction Management, stewards of managing and presenting in regards to the above subject project. On the first slide, as Mr. Guerra had mentioned, there has been a lot of extensive progress of the project. There is a clarification on the second to the last line item where it says substantial completion date. That should be scratched and should be final completion date. And I will come back in reference to that. The percentage completed as shown is 76%. This is an important numerical value because it is confirmed and affirmed by both Prodigy Construction Management, the general contractor, and the architect of record. It gives me great results to present this line item here. Usually this page, when we present it to you, it was completely full of requests for information to and from, as it is on every project, especially on a remodeled project. We are caught up as a trio, project management, architect, and the general contractor, especially on a renovation project. We are currently on payment application number 12, which our numerical values reflect that, in the amount due to the general contractor in the $124,518.40. On this particular line item, what we call the snapshot, the balance to finish, again, I will recall the 76% completion to date. The county still retains $1,006,000 in the kitty. So at 76%, which is is almost at a quarter percent, 75%, we still retain approximately over $1 million in change on the project. The final completion date is scheduled for April the 17th, 2015, and it is the total completion date. That means April 17th. That means that we are somewhat bypassing the substantial completion and turning the keys over on April.
Good morning, Judge. Commissioner.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Jose Lopez, Prodigy. Just a quick overview on some of the progress that we're making on the project. Quick view of the lobby concourse space shows you some of it has already been painted. A lot of it is, most of the progress you're going to see is a lot on the second floor. Now they're moving into the first floor. The second slide is some of the board they're doing. The gypsum board walls are already done. The floor tile has commenced. As you go further down, you can see that it's moving along the entire first floor already. The slide on my right is the north atrium lobby area that also has got the AC done, the grill work's already done, the tile work's commenced. It has moved tremendously within the last 2 or 3 weeks. There's another space area that's an existing vault door, and you can see the tile is moved up to the vault, and they're working on completing the space at the bottom of it. The toilets already have the ceramic tile walls already commenced. It's moving along in both floors. It's another view of the concourse, just most of the ceilings already painted. On the right side, you can see the floor tile, and the second floor, the millwork, cabinetry, and so forth has already started installation. They're moving into different rooms. The ceiling track, you'll notice that some of the lights are already at the site. Most of them are there. They're starting the installation of the suspended lights. You can see that the floor tile's in, a coat of paint's already taken effect. And we keep moving a little further to show you that it is moving moving the ceiling lights, then you'll be coming into general cleanup, moving on towards the first floor, which already also has a tile started. See the big concourse area, the meeting spaces, and the stairway leading towards the first floor from the second floor. It already has the tile work up to the level, the railing is done, and then, of course, the timeline application, meeting number 12, as Mr. Palacios was stating, is up to April 17th for the final completion. Any questions that you might have?
Judge.
So we're, it's taken us, what, about 10, maybe 12 months longer than we thought it was?
It has, Judge, for the simple reason that, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, there's been a lot of ups and downs from getting information to and from the design team to the contractor, and some hiccups along the way from the contractor bumping up to some walls on getting the city to offer us different permits, ADA issues that we had to tackle. The contractor would hit some of these brick walls, but again, when all of us came together, you know, it was a trials and tribulations, but we overcame. Those issues have been resolved. This remodel has been a huge undertaking because there was a lot of unforeseen conditions that when we tore a wall, like when someone said, we resolve a problem and create 10 more. But that's the nature of the beast on this particular project. So again, it is important to note that the 76% is a combination of the three teams that this date has assured that the contractor, no more changes, no more excuses either from the design and from the contractor. This is the drop-down date without any changes, full throttle, no excuses on April the 17th, final completion.
From what our original budgeted construction price was, have there been any increases? And if so, what have they been?
They have, Judge. On the snapshot, the original contract budget has been was initially awarded at 3.6 million. Paid to date is 2.5 million. And the increase in cost is, I'm looking here on the snapshot, is $273,786.
All right.
Again, with a balance to finish of a little bit over $1 million and change. At 75% of completion, 76% of completion, we're okay with the monies, I believe.
All right, sir.
Mr. Palacios, you said April 17th, 2015?
April 17th, 2015, 2015.
Drop that date?
Yes, sir. That's what was given back to us by the team as a whole.
Or do you have the chair for the auditor and the new commissioner's court? Where do you have his chair at?
For the other.
Well, I just need to know because past that date, I shouldn't get any bills or I shouldn't get any invoices for work done after April 17, 2015, right?
In reference to whom, sir?
To any of the invoices coming from the construction of the...
Well, please note that that date means that the intent is to turn over the keys. However, there is a period where there is such a thing called the retainage monies. The retainage monies will be then a week or two or three, depending on what the trio comes. The architect has to sign off on it. He has to be pleased with the product. We have to sign off on it. The owner has to sign off on it. Once all these individuals and entities are happy, then the monies are released. So to answer your question directly, there may be some monies that is due the individuals as well as the architect, the contractor, and ourselves until those items are dotted and T's are crossed.
I understand that, but as far as the construction of this project, after April 17th, there shouldn't be any construction work done. It should
That's
be already
correct.
done. The keys are going to be turned over, so I shouldn't be getting any invoices for work done after that date. As of right now.
In regards to the general contractor, you are correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item.
Item C, thank you, Judge. Item C is approval to accept the settlement from Texas Farm Bureau Insurance Company in the amount of $11,279.75. This will settle a total loss auto accident claim with one of our county vehicles.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Judge, with that action that the court took, I'm also asking authorization to sign power of attorney and all the documents necessary to settle the claim and facilitate the transfer of the vehicle title to Texas Farm Bureau Insurance Company.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item D is, I'm asking the court to authorize me to sign property damage release and settlement agreement form to settle a total loss auto accident claim with Endeavor General Agency.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Our DA's office.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here on item 8A, approval for the following expense in accordance with the existing officials expenditure policy. This is for TDCAA Elected Prosecutor Conference for Mr. Rene Guerra. We're requesting approval on $350 for registration, $347.77 mileage reimbursement, $479.55 for lodging, and $156 for meals.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
On item B, DA State Supplement, approval to increase the hourly pay to slot T014 in the DA State Supplement from $9.19 to $15.
Judge.
How do you increase, 9, okay.
And Judge, just as a point of clarification, this position is for our section, the County Affairs section. We lost our sole legal assistant back in October, and this position would allow us to bring in a temporary legal assistant for the duration of the remainder of the year.
All right, sir. Yes, sir.
Judge, the personnel adjustment request form has not been approved by the HR director. I don't know if it's been reviewed and approved.
Mr. Ofracio, I reviewed the PAR staff at the HR were out at a scheduled training, and so if need be, I'll go ahead and sign off on the PAR, but I've already reviewed it and everything's in order.
Right, so the HR director will sign it later, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying I'll sign it.
You sign it?
Yes.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item B2, approval of revised salary schedule.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 10, our sheriff's office.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Richard Ozuna, Sheriff's Office, Hidalgo County, on behalf of our sheriff. Under 10A, for the U.S. Marshals 1284 account, under item 1, it's approval to accept overtime funding from the U.S. Department of Justice, U.S. Marshal Service, for 2 officers in the amount of $28,000 in overtime.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item number 2 is requesting authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Number 3 is the approval of certification of revenues as certified by our county auditor for the GOJ USMS funding.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And number 4 is the approval to appropriate the funds in the amount of $28,000 for the USMS overtime funding.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
On 10B is approval to accept a donation from Oxy USA Incorporated in the amount of $1,500.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Good day.
Thank you, sir. Our Health Department, 11.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Under 11A, requesting approval to appropriate $75.19 for the Dual Grant Contract 2013-043641-001. This is a audit closeout. We're closing this line item out.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 11B, sir, is requesting approval of the certification of revenue by county auditor in the amount of $128,043.85. Funds are from the Health and Human Service Commission Medicaid Administrative Claiming Reimbursement, our MAC program.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And item 2 is requesting approval to appropriate the MAC budget into the amount of $128,043.95.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 11C, sir, is our perinatal grant, requesting approval of the certification of revenues by the county auditor in the amount of $224.42. Funds are from the program income earned from Title V Perinatal Services FY14 program.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And item C2 is requesting approval of the appropriate the program income to the amount of $224.42.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Sir, there is no business on item D1 or E1. If there's any questions, I'll happy answer them. Sir, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Item 12, our elections office.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. While Amanda passes that out, I would just like to tell the community that we have 2 runoffs happening today. Through the 26th of this month, we've got runoffs for the City of Donna and Monte Alto ISD. So call the elections office if you are in that vicinity so that you can participate in the runoffs. Today, we are participating in the canvassing, and you've been handed the envelope with various reports, and you have got each of the canvassing, which will be 4 reports, plus a CD that you can print, or you can call our office and we can print for you the precinct by precinct report that is this big. So that's why we've given you a CD. You can go ahead and view it, or you can print it, or like I said, you can go ahead and call our office and we can print this for you. But it's this big and we're trying to be conservative, so you can certainly come by our office and view it as well. We can go ahead and get started with the first canvassing report, which is our general election. So it's canvassing of election results for the November 4th, 2014 general election as per Texas Election Code 67.004.
Move for approval.
Second.
Each has to be read. If you would like for me to read each one, or would you like to just,
If it's required to be read, you can go ahead.
it is required?
Well, go ahead.
Okay, so precincts counted of 255 were 255, 100%. Registered voters at that time, we had 321,564. Ballots cast were 25.97%, which were 83,522 voters. For the straight party, we had Republican Party, 13,718, Democratic Party, 36,064, Libertarian Party, 656, Green Party, 323. For United States Senator, and of course this was for Hidalgo County, we had John Cornyn with 27,303 votes, David M. Alamil with 46,112, Rebecca Paddock with 2,335, Emily Spicy Brown Sanchez with 2,111, write-in, which was Mohammed Tahiro with 71 votes, total cast 77,932. For Hidalgo County, David M. Alamil was the winner with 59.17%. United States Representative District 15, Eddie Zamora with 16,920 votes, Ruben Hinojosa, 36,162, Johnny Partain, 1,404 votes, total cast 54,486 votes. Ruben Hinojosa was the winner in Hidalgo County with 66.37%. United States Representative District 28, Henry Cuellar, 9,442. William Akins, 962 votes. Michael D. Carey, 363. Total votes cast, 10,767. The declared winner in Hidalgo County, Henry Cuellar, with 87.69%. United States Representative, District 34, Larry S. Smith, 3,101 votes. Filimon B. Vela, 8,579. Ryan Rowley, 261. Total votes cast, 11,941. In Hidalgo County, with 71.84% of the votes, Filimon B. Vela. For Governor, Greg Abbott, 27,909 votes. Wendy R. Davis, 50,303 votes. Kathy Glass, 1,350 votes. Brandon Palmer, 572 votes. Write-in Sarah M. Pavitt, 85 votes. Total votes cast, 80,219 votes. Winner in Hidalgo County with 62.71% of the votes, Wendy R. Davis. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, 23,376 votes. Leticia Vandeput, 53,040 votes. Robert D. Butler, 1,495 votes. Chandra Kantha Courtney, 585 votes. Total votes cast, 78,496. Winner in Hidalgo County with 67.57% of the votes, Leticia Vandeput. Attorney General Ken Paxton, 24,107 votes. Sam Houston, 49,935 votes. Jamie Balagia, 2,502 votes. Jamar Osborne, 811 votes. Total votes cast, 77,355. Winner in Hidalgo County with 64.55% of the votes, Sam Houston. Comptroller of Public Accounts, Glenn Hager, 24,104 votes. Mike Collier, 49,236 votes. Ben Sanders, 2,399 votes. Deb Shafto, 1,093 votes. Total votes cast, 76,832 votes. Winner in Hidalgo County with 64.08%, Mike Collier. Commissioner of General Land Office, George P. Bush, 28,054 votes. John Cook, 46,630 votes. Justin Knight, 1,727 votes. Valerie Alessi, 1,537 votes. Total votes cast, 77,948. Winner in Hidalgo County with 59.82% of the votes, John Cook. Commissioner of Agriculture, Sid Miller, 23,431. Jim Hogan, 49,412. David Rocky Palmquist, 2,538 votes. Kenneth Kendrick, 1,392 votes. Total votes cast, 76,773. Winner in Hidalgo County with 64.36% of the votes, Jim Hogan. Railroad Commissioner, Ryan Sitton, 23,358 votes. Steve Brown, 47,376. Mark A. Miller, 1,952. Martina Salinas, 4,467. Total votes cast, 77,153. Winner in Hidalgo County, Steve Brown with 61.41% of the votes. Chief Justice, Supreme Court, Nathan Hecht, 24,394. William Moody, 50,008 votes. Tom Oxford, 2,433 votes. Total votes cast, 76,835. Winner in Hidalgo County with 65.08% of the votes, William Moody. Justice Supreme Court, Place 6, Jeff Brown, 25,141 votes. Lawrence Edward Myers, 49,021 votes. Mark Ash, 2,382 votes. Total votes cast, 76,544. Winner with 64.4% of the votes, Lawrence Edward Myers. Justice Supreme Court, Place 7, Jeff Boyd, 22,889. Gina Benavides, 52,195. Don Fulton, 1,561. Charles E. Waterbury, 782. Total votes cast, 77,427. Winner in Hidalgo County with 67.41% of the votes, Gina Benavides. Justice Supreme Court, Place 8, Phil Johnson, 32,374 votes. R.S. Roberto Colch, 10,738. Jim Chisholm, 5,882. Total votes cast, 48,994. Winner in Hidalgo County with 66.8% of the votes, Phil Johnson. Judge, Court of Criminal Appeals, Place 3. Bert Richardson, 24,988. John Granberg, 48,516. Mark W. Bennett, 2,803. Winner in Hidalgo County, John Granberg, with 63.58% of the vote. Judge, Court of Criminal Appeals, Place 4. Kevin Patrick Yeary, 30,349. Juana Parker, 8,344. Judith Sanders Castro, 11,514. Total votes cast, 50,207. Winner in Hidalgo County with 60.45% of the votes, Kevin Patrick Yeary. Judge, Court of Criminal Appeals, Place 9. David Newell, 32,272. William Brian Strange III, 10,699. George Joseph Altgelt, 5,923. Total votes cast, 48,894. Winner in Hidalgo County with 66% of the votes, David Newell. Member State Board of Education, District 2, Ruben Cortez Jr., 39,305 votes. Without opposition, winner. Member State Board of Education, District 3, David Mundy, 7,211. Marisa B. Perez, 16,337. Josh Morales, 883. Total votes cast, 24,431. Winner with 66.87% of the vote, Marisa B. Perez. State Representative, District 35, without opposition, with 100% of the vote, Oscar Longoria. State Representative, District 36, winner without opposition, with 100% of the vote, Sergio Munoz Jr. State Representative, District 39, winner without opposition, Armando Mando Martinez. State Representative, District 40, winner without opposition, Terry Canales. State Representative, District 41, Elijah Israel Casas, 8,539. Bobby Guerra, 11,532. Total votes cast, 20,071. Winner with 57.46% of the vote, Bobby Guerra. Justice, 13th Court of Appeals, District Place 6. Doug Norman, 22,360. Dory Contreras Garza, 54,572. Winner with 70.94% of the vote. District Judge, 92nd Judicial District, and this is an unexpired term, Jaime Tijerina with 28,559. Luis Manuel Singletary with 49,236 votes. Total votes cast, 77,795. The winner with 63.29% of the vote, Luis Manuel Singletary. District Judge, 206th Judicial District. Winner without opposition, Rose Guerra Reina. District Judge, 275th Judicial District. Winner without opposition, Juan R. Partida. District Judge, 370th Judicial District. Winner without opposition, Noé Gonzalez. Criminal District Attorney. Winner without opposition, Ricardo Rodriguez. Proposed constitutional amendment. For, 50,584. Against, 18,434. Total votes cast, 69,018. Winner with 73.29% of the vote in favor. The following are your unopposed candidates that were declared elected. County Judge Ramon Garcia. Judge, County Court at Law Number 1, Rodolfo Rudy Gonzalez. Judge, County Court at Law Number 2, Jaime J. Palacios. Judge, County Court at Law Number 4, Federico Fred Garza Jr. Judge, County Court at Law Number 5, Arnoldo Cantu Jr. Judge, County Court at Law Number 6, Albert Garcia. Judge, County Court at Law Number 8, Omar Maldonado. Judge, County Probate Court, Homero Garza. District Clerk, Laura Hinojosa. County Clerk, Arturo Guajardo Jr. County Treasurer, Norma G. Garcia. County Commissioner, Precinct Number 2, Eduardo Eri Cantu. County Commissioner, Precinct Number 4, Joseph Palacios. Justice of the Peace, Precinct Number 1, Place 2, Jesse Morales. Justice of the Peace, Precinct Number 2, Place 2, Jaime Jerry Munoz. Justice of the Peace, Precinct Number 3, Place 2, Ismael Melo Ochoa. Justice of the Peace, Precinct Number 4, Place 2, Homer Hasso. So this concludes the canvass of the general election returns.
We need a motion?
Yes.
Move to approve?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Now,
Thank-
there's two unexpired terms.
Yes, sir, that's the next one.
Okay.
So we now start with item B, the canvassing of election results for the November 4th, 2014 special election to elect a sheriff and constable, unexpired terms as per Texas Election Code, Section 67.004. And that's the next report in your packet. Once again, precincts counted were 255, with registered voters of 321,564, with ballots cast of 83,522. For sheriff, Albert Al Perez with 21,273, J.E. Eddie Guerra, 50,718, Vince Owsley with 4,021, write-in Giovanni Hernandez with 3,480, total votes cast 79,492, declared winner with 63.80% of the vote, J.E. Eddie Guerra. Constable, Precinct Number 4, J.R. Gaitan with 14,926 votes, Carlos Charlie Aleman with 3,898 votes, total votes cast 18,824 votes, winner with 79.29% of the votes, J.R. Gaitan for Constable Precinct Number 4. And that concludes the canvassing of special elections for Sheriff and Constable Precinct Number 4.
Do we need action on that?
Yes, sir.
Move to approve?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
We have item C, where we have canvassing of election results for the November 4th special election for the creation of a countywide hospital district in Hidalgo County as per Texas Election Code 67.004. That's your third report. Once again, 255 precincts with 321,564 registered voters with 83,522 ballots cast. County Proposition Number 1, for 34,304 votes, against 36,817 votes, total votes cast 71,121 votes, 51.77% won, which was against for County Proposition Number 1.
Approve? Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
The last item is a special item, which is to canvass the election results for South Texas Independent School District. And this was for their November 4th, 2014 general election, and this is per Texas Election Code Section 271.011, and Texas Education Code, and this is a grandfathered old Texas Education Code, Section 26.34, which grandfathers them into the Commissioners Court canvassing their results. So we will begin with the canvass of South Texas ISD Board Trustee Precinct 2, beginning with Margarita Garcia with 8,497 votes, and Luis Ramos with 5,753 votes. Total votes cast, 14,250. Winner with 59.63% was Margarita Garcia. South Texas ISD School Board Trustee Precinct 4, Eduardo Ed Gonzalez with 12,916 votes. E. Benjamin Mino Lozano with 3,900 votes. Total votes cast, 16,816. Winner with 76.81% of the votes, Eduardo Ed Gonzalez.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you so much. This concludes the canvassing of Hidalgo County.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Our Head Start program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Item 13A, approval to enter into the best and final negotiated contract with Leonel Garza Jr. and Associates in the amount of $51,000 for the appraisal services of the Head Start facilities.
Move for
And
approval.
we were
Second.
liking the certificate of insurance, and that was brought in and handed over to the Auditor's Department.
Move for approval. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, discussion and approval to declare obsolete the attached list of items and transfer items to the county's surplus department for proper disposition.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Budget Office.
Morning, Judge, Commissioner, Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 14A will be a presentation by Alamo Insurance Group, which is our health insurance consultant, Mr. Gary Looney.
Morning, sir.
Judge, Commissioners, basically the item we'll be discussing is going to be a discussion, consideration, and approval to amend the county's retiree medical plan.
Thank you, Sergio. Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Briefly, we currently have a medical plan that allows for employees who are under the age of 65, if they follow and meet the requirements for retirement with the county, they're allowed to continue their health insurance program up until the age of 65 when they meet the Medicare age. Right now, they're allowed to continue the plan, pay full premium under the plan until that age. Then, at age 65, they're required to be terminated to go under the Medicare program. What we've done is we've created an amendment to that plan now that allows employees to continue coverage past the age of 65 if, in fact, they do have Medicare Part A and Part B as their underlying primary care constituent for their health insurance plan. So what we've done is we've matched as best we can, the retirement methods with the county, make sure that the individual meets all the requirements to retire under the county program. Then they allow them to continue coverage on a supplemental type benefit after the age of 65, as long as they pay the appropriate premium for that coverage. The appropriate premium for that coverage is identified as a premium that is marketable. It meets the market standards today for Medicare supplement contracts. The premium projected for the current year and for 2015, for an individual to continue that supplement would be $250 per month to continue that supplement coverage. They would have to have Parts A and B as primary. They're not required to have Part D as a supplement to their prescription drug program. So they would have Parts A and B, and they would be supplement through that. If they have dependents, including spouse and/or children under the age of 65, they would be allowed to continue as dependent coverage as long as that employee, retiree, paid full coverage for those individuals.
That's till the end of time.
There's no termination date.
And how will the county get paid? Automatic debit, check or what?
The county then actually becomes, as they are now, a collection facility. The individuals have to make their premium payments on a timely basis. It's outlined in the amendment that if they do not make their premium payments on a timely basis, they're terminated from the plan and will not be allowed to reinstate at any particular time in the future. That would include...
Do you have some days, say it was due on the 10th and you don't pay till the 15th? Is there a 30-day grace period for that?
30 days.
Somebody was asking if somebody's been retired already, can they still come in or not?
No, sir.
No.
When you retire.
No, that election needs to be made within 30 days of the date that they retired.
Yeah.
The date that they retire. And we're trying to match the dates because you have a termination date.
Another question that I had, Gary, how much is it going to cost the county? Not much, right?
Very little at this point because it's primary, Medicare is primary. We asked the underwriters if we would have any adjustments to the basic underlying coverage or cost for the county, and they said no. There would not be any adjustments. They expect the cost to be marginal overall for the county because Medicare is primary. Medicare is the primary.
What happens with those people that are trying to get a supplemental insurance? Say they're with Humana. I've seen it on TV. They're advertising. They can still do it with the county, right, if they want to?
Correct.
It's up to them.
It's up to the individual retiree as to whether they want to participate in the plan or not. They have that option at retirement. They get that option at that point during that 30-day period. The reason we're using a 30-day period is because we do not want a lapse in coverage.
Yeah.
The individual needs to have that continuation or continuity of coverage. So we made 30 days, and then the premium payments are actually made in advance of the 30 next days for a coverage period.
Sergio, independents will be covered only if they're children. They're going to have to be 26 years or under in order to be covered?
If you have a retiree who has dependents that are covered under the plan at the time they retire, they have to be insured at the time they retire. Then they'll be allowed to continue at full premium up to the age of 26.
Same as a regular?
Same as a regular. So what I need for from the court today is what date do we want to make this amendment effective?
The sooner the better, because there's some people that are leaving January 1st, and I wanted to be covered. Hello.
Commissioner Palacios, did you have a recommendation to the date?
Virginia, I'm not going to vote on this.
It's preferable to be on the first day of a month.
December 1st?
December 1st would be the earliest effective date because right now we have people that are on the plan that will have to be notified because the only plan that's going to be available for anyone that is not currently covered as a retiree, the only plan that will be available is the low plan, which is the plan that's provided to all employees by the county.
We vote on it today. What's the first day that it can be effective?
If we make it effective, if we vote of December 1st effective date, it becomes effective December the 1st.
Gary, what about supplemental insurance, cafeteria plans?
I'm sorry, Commissioner.
What about all those extra insurance, those cafeteria or
The voluntary?
Those voluntary products usually,
Voluntary products, yeah.
they sign up for automatic debit after they retire.
Yeah, all the
Say,
voluntary.
Those can be enforced.
They usually keep them afterwards,
Yeah.
but they contract independently with those agents.
Like, what about surviving, here got surviving spouse, children, or surviving
Correct.
children?
Correct.
So if the retiree passes, then
Correct. If
the
the retiree-
surviving individuals can be covered as long as the payment is made?
As long as the payment is made. As long as they were covered at the time the individual
Right.
retired.
The only difference here is instead of you going shopping for an insurance somewhere out in the market,
You continue.
it'll be easier to do it here.
Okay. But you're saying under the plan as an employee, if an employee passes, then the surviving
They can continue
family
paying.
members can continue paying?
I'm sorry.
If an employee passes, the surviving dependents can continue.
Correct. As long as they make full premium payment as determined by the plan, yes, they can continue coverage. And one of the elements too is that if an individual is working full-time and qualifies, dies prior to retirement, then they would be allowed to continue also as long as they meet the premium requirements.
Okay.
What started off as a one-page amendment has expanded.
You need action this morning on the date, the effective date?
Number two.
Number two.
Which is number 2, discussion, consideration, and approval to amend the county's retiree medical plan.
Move for
The
approval.
sooner the better.
Yes.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 14A3.
For the record, Commissioner Palacios Tito abstain.
He doesn't want the insurance.
Item 14A3 is approval of the retiree medical plan premiums, which are also included within the amendment. So we're just requesting approval of those
Move for
premiums.
approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Item 14B is discussion, consideration, and approval to set the indirect cost allocation rate for fiscal year 2015 for the WIC grant program. We're recommending a rate of 10% for the month of October, and then a rate of 7.36% from November to September 30th of 2015.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Sergio,
Yes, sir.
there are two rates included in this documentation that you distributed.
Plan one.
Which are the rates that are, you said approval of retiree medical plan premiums? And you got two lists there.
You got
For-
plan amendment number 1 and,
One of them's for 2014, and the other one is for 2015.
The plan amendment 1 is 14, or they're?
No, it's because we anticipated that it was going to be approved for this fiscal year, so rates changed for next fiscal year, so that's why we included two
Okay.
different plans.
So 2014 is the
And
first
2015, correct.
Amendment 1, and then 15 is for next year?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Sergio, is there a change on the rate?
The change in the rate for the retirees?
No.
Or you're talking for the WIC?
On the date, you say November the 1st.
Correct. Yes, basically, since October already passed, we use the indirect cost rate of 10%, which was allowed by the grant. However, for November through the end of the fiscal year, we're recommending a rate of 7.36, and that's based on the budget that was approved for the WIC program. We took their indirect cost budget, and we also projected some lapses within their personnel. So we use those funds to also increase that indirect cost. So we're recommending a rate of 7.36. That's how much the budget will be able to sustain as far as indirect costs. We're allowed to charge up to 10%, however, we're recommending a lower rate for the month of November through September of next year.
It's a problem with the dates.
Commissioner, what would be the problem with the
Well,
dates?
the question is, we're going back to September.
Well, but we're going back to October 1st through October 31st. The 10% is the grant allowed indirect cost rate. So we're basically just sort of ratifying that,
Is that
that
the way,
rate.
like a fiscal year for the grant coming in, or what?
It's, the new fiscal year started in October.
You're saying for 1 month, you're going to charge 10%?
Yes.
And then
Since-
on it'd be 7.7?
And the reason why we're doing this, the state allows the 10%, which is basically the rate that we would. Since we didn't bring this item to court in October for approval of the October rate, we decided not to change the rate. Also, for reporting purposes, the October has already closed as far as for the grant, so we've already sent those expenditure reports to the granting agency with a 10% indirect cost rate. So that's why we're just basically seeking approval of the 10% for October, and then the modified rate, the reduced rate for the rest of the fiscal year.
That rate is approved every year, so I guess court approved it all the way to September 30th?
The county is allowed,
2014?
the county is allowed to charge the 10% without submitting the indirect cost plan.
Right.
Usually, the indirect cost plan that we submit by your office is usually above 25%.
Right.
So
So
yeah,
you
so we're
charge
using
10%?
basically the state maximum rate without us having submitted the plan, which is a 10%.
So last year, we were charging 10% for the entire year?
No, last year we came during the middle of the fiscal year and brought it down to, I believe, 6%.
Right, that's what I'm saying, so you approved that all the way to September 30th?
Yes.
2014?
Last year we approved that rate through the end of September, through the end of that fiscal year.
Okay.
All right, sir.
And
You
we're
need
recommending
action.
approval as allowed by the grant.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
14C, discussion, consideration, and approval to submit the Texas Vine reimbursement maintenance invoice in the amount of $6,928.83, and the Texas Statewide Automatic Victim Notification Service County Verification of Continuing Production Record, with authority for the county judge to sign the document.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. 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 Motion carries.
For item 14D, is approval to amend the Hidalgo County Certificates of Obligation Series 2006 order, which was previously approved. And if I can, I would have a financial advisor and bond counsel come up as well, in case there's any questions.
Judge, the orders were attached to the agenda, but they're incomplete.
But they're what?
They're incomplete. There are some blank spaces there.
Well, we can ask them questions here.
Judge, and the reason for some of those blanks that were in the orders when we attached them on Friday was that we didn't sell till yesterday, so we didn't have QSIP numbers, we didn't have actual rates.
All right,
until
why
we
don't you
sold-
talk about the numbers that we can use to fill in? That way we can satisfy Mr. Ofracio's concerns.
Do one.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Judge, members of the court. My name is Noe Hinojosa with Estrada Hinojosa and Company. My partner on the project is Garza III. And as Mr. Cruz pointed out earlier, as a normal course of business, we can't fill up those blanks until you know the final results on the project. Yesterday, we went ahead and priced this loans with a team of underwriters led by Bank of America Merrill Lynch, Stevens, Inc., and Stifel Nicholas. This is illustrated on page 1. We did the due diligence review with your staff, with various attorneys that are basically in this practice. And then on page 2, as you can see, there's a market update showing you how rates have been doing here over the last 3 years. But most importantly, if you go over to the quadrant on the very top right-hand corner, you'll see a little green line and yellow line showing you how just in the last day or two, rates actually went up. Big supply and debt out there. We've been experiencing in the marketplace issuances of about $3 to $5 billion, and this Monday, when we priced this financing, the market had a supply of about close to $8 billion. Pretty tough days in the market. In fact, our loans, despite the fact that we had very strong credit ratings of a AA- by Standard & Poor's and a AA2 by Moody's. It was received with a bit of reluctance because of the fact that there was so much supply. At the end of the day, though, despite that, Merrill Lynch came under those bonds with about 50% of those loans being unsold. It did a bit of an effect on the interest rates. And I will get into those in a minute. But on page 3, you'll see, and this will be what will be included in the bond order. I think our bond counsel here, Mr. Ramirez, will share that with you and echo that what Mr. Cruz just said. that in this particular case, we'll be selling $20 million, $85,000 of certificates of obligation in order to achieve or receive at closing about $22 million in construction funds. Then we have a refunding of about $22,795,000 that will refund of about $26 million in change. And then we'll have the tax notes being sold for a par amount of $5,530,000. All of those amounts will be inserted in those blanks that were presented to you in a draft form, of course, and your action is required today to adopt these various securities. What's important is on page 4, we came here to you back on September 30th and had a plan of finance adopted by you. If you go to column F in row number 6, you'll see that we received for the certificates of obligation an interest rate of 3.36. Back on September 30th, we thought we would get you an interest rate of 3.38. So we were just a hair below what we represented back to you then. Then if you go over to column L, you'll see in row number 4 the results of the refunding or the refinancing of some of the current outstanding bonds of the county. In that particular case, on a $22 million financing, we're getting you savings of just shy of $1.5 million at $1,471,000. What we showed you back on September 30th was $1,515,000 in savings. So we missed that mark by about $44,000. The rate that we show you then was at 2.5%. The rate that we are being proposed by Merrill Lynch is 2.59. Our desk in Dallas worked with them very diligently for about 3.5 hours yesterday and was convinced that they did a good effort, and the fact that they could come under those bonds despite the fact that they had not been sold, it's a good indication of their interest in working with you. This has no impact on the tax rate. If you go to column S, as in Sam, you'll see row number, as it reflects to 2015, the tax rate is at 0.0592 of the 59 cents that you currently levy. That's not going to change. This debt is not going to change. But it is part of the overall approach of funding the project next year on the courthouse, which continues to be an ongoing project. We haven't been definitive on that. But at the end of the day, that spreadsheet, if you see the 3 columns of H, I, and J, why they're blank, is because that's where we will pull out the courthouse financing, if that ever occurs. Then the tax notes on page 5, and those are basically equipment for the Sheriff's Department. Right?
Various kind of vehicles.
Yeah, various Sheriff's Department vehicles. At that point, on September 30th, we told you that the rate will be 155. Well, the rate now is 123. Yes, 1.23%, and it's a loan being issued over 5 years. So as you can see that the shorter part of the yield curve, anything between now and about 2025, the bondholders like that, and that's why you had a very strong support on that loan and why you got those rates. What's important is then page 6, what the rating agencies are saying about you. Standard & Poor's gave you a AA- with a stable outlook. Moody's gave you a AA2. You're among the strongest credits on the border, the U.S.-Mexico border. What's important also on page 8, as you can see on the rating report from Standard & Poor's, and these are objective views set on financial parameters that they put in place. We don't manipulate those ratings. We don't try to influence them. I think your staff, but at the budget office, and I think the county auditor's office, were participant in rating calls, independent of your interventions, and according to their opinions, the County of Hidalgo continues to have pretty adequate budget performances. You have a very strong liquidity based on your strong fund balances or savings accounts. I think years back, we had instituted a resolution that you should have at least 15% in savings in your general fund balance. Well, you pretty well exceed that based on 2013 audit reports of about 24%. This year, in 2014, despite the fact that you had 2013 balances that were strong, and despite the fact that you were anticipating drawing into the fund balance, they still believe you have very strong liquidity. What they view it as a weakness on the county is basically something you can't control. They believe that the effective buying income on people that live in Hidalgo County is very weak compared to the nation. You're about 54% of what the U.S. buying income is nationally. And other than that, they did made observations about your strong management with good financial policies. They do feel that when you go about borrowing for the courthouse, you may end up in a weak debt position. We will try to work on that as we have the opportunity to, but that's all noted there, and that's something that I think everyone can read at their leisure and go from there. On the other hand, Moody's, AA2, pretty much echoing what Standard & Poor's said. They are very satisfied with the way you're performing financially, and all in all, you have a good credit here. We will need for you to adopt the items that have been presented to you, and I don't know, Mr. Ramirez, if you'd like to add anything else to what we presented?
Good morning again. Just to indicate to you that there's 4 items that are on that agenda item, and part of that agenda requires an amendment of the refunded bond order, and also an amendment of the delegation order for the same reasons we spoke about earlier today, and that is we're enlarging the scope of securities that we can use in the escrow. So just the same thing we did in the drainage district, we're doing here again. And then with respect to the blanks on the delegation order, all of the information that we need, all of the financial information that we need is contained either in the order or in the attachments that we have here. And so that is perfectly reasonable and acceptable. Once the Attorney General approves this deal, as you know, the transactions are incontestable. Any questions?
So you're saying at that point, the numbers will be filled in, or?
No.
Help me understand with the blanks.
The blanks, this is a delegation order. Okay. In the old days, we used to have a competitive sale of bonds, and Commissioner Palacios, you remember that in the old days, where we would sell bonds, we would ask bidders to come in, and then they would bid, and then that would be put in the order. And in those days, we would approve the order, and we would attach to the order a copy of the bids. That was the fill in the blanks that we're talking about. Here, we do something similar. We delegate the authority to certain officials of the county. They make the call. They make the call on the sale of the refunding bonds, and then we attach to the order, for the time being, the actual pricing. So this document here is incorporated into the order. What I'm going to do after lunch is take that information and then type it into the actual blanks. Right. Thank you.
All right, so you need action on
1, 2, 3, and 4.
On D1 to amend the 2006 order.
You can do it all at the same time.
You want them one by one?
Either way, it doesn't matter to us.
One by one, Judge, I recommend.
All right.
Thank you.
I need a motion to approve the amendment of D1.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously.
Item 14D2, Judge, is amend Hidalgo County Limited Tax Refunding Bonds, Series 2014 order.
Move for
Can I have
approval.
approval?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 14D3, consideration and approval of order authorizing issuance, sale, and delivery of Hidalgo County, Texas Certificates of Obligation, Series 2014, payable from a levy of a direct and continuing annual ad valorem tax within the limits prescribed by law, and limited pledge never to exceed $1,000 from the surplus net revenues from the operation of the county's parks, as authorized pursuant to Chapter 320 Local Government Code, also prescribing the terms and form thereof, providing for the payment of the principal thereof and interest thereon, authorizing the use of an official statement to be used in connection with the sale of the certificates, and making other provisions regarding such certificates and matters incident thereto.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 14D4 is consideration and approval of order authorizing issuance, sale, and delivery of Hidalgo County, Texas tax notes, Series 2014, payable from the levy of a direct and continuing annual ad valorem tax within the limits prescribed by law, as authorized pursuant to Chapters 1431 Texas Government Code, prescribing the terms and form thereof, providing for the payment of the principal thereof and interest thereon, authorizing the use of an official statement to be used in connection with the sale of the notes, and making other provisions regarding such notes and matters incident thereto.
Approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Sergio,
Yes, sir.
Chu said that, I'm sorry? Chu said that he was going to fill in the blanks, but some of the blanks are the amortization schedule.
Yes,
And I
correct.
see it, that it's here, but it's only got the principal numbers. So the interest will be added later on, or?
Yes, we do have the final numbers, we do have the QZIP numbers. We can attach this to the agenda as well. But basically, all the information would come from the final numbers as provided by our financial advisor, and then the QZIP number, and that's provided by,
Because there's a schedule attached here, but doesn't
Correct.
have any interest. The one you have has interest?
has the interest and everything, all the amortization schedules and everything.
Thanks.
Item 14E is requesting approval to correct the recipient of supplemental pay allowance previously approved by Commissioners Court on 10/14/2014, which was AI 46800, item 13A. The correct amounts are as follows. From the Criminal DA's Office, employee 77917, Assistant District Attorney 4, the amount that was approved by court was $9,752. The correct amount should be 0. And for the Public Defender's Office, employee number 120227, the Chief Public Defender, the amount approved by court was 0, and the amount should be $9,844. We're requesting approval of that correction.
Sergio, this is effective when? This change here, because we have received timesheets already from some of these
You
individuals.
want to ask Noe? about
Correct.
it?
This should be effective from the beginning of the grant. I know that for those individuals that were paid, we will have them seek reimbursement for the county based on that, because the grant funds shouldn't have been paid to that employee.
Okay. But
So-
here's the issue, that from the criminal DA, we received a timesheet.
That's correct.
But we also were told that the Public Defender's Office was the one that provided the
Was actually
services
provided the service.
and should be getting paid. So now you're saying that this change is effective from the beginning of the grant? So
I'm
who's
not-
going to get paid? That's the question.
Excuse me?
Who is going to get paid?
It should be the Public Defender, Chief Public Defender, should be the individual getting paid.
Yeah, all right. Thank you.
You need action on that?
Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And then item 14E, 2 and 3 is approval of the interdepartmental transfer and approval of the correction of the salary schedules.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
No problem. Good morning.
Morning,
Martha
Marty.
Salazar for the Purchasing Department. We're going to start with, 15A1, acceptance and approval to execute a negotiated agreement subject to legal's review, which has already occurred, with Helmuth Obata and Casabom, also known as HOK, Professional Architectural Services Contract, Design and Construction for the review and analysis of the existing schematic designs for the new courthouse. The last concern was their insurance, and it was received and forwarded by email to all parties this morning.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
It's changed from,
It went down, I think, from what I thought it was going to be.
If it didn't remain the same, it went a little bit lower than
Yes.
what it was.
check.
All right, those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is presentation of bids received for the purpose of award and approval of contract document for the responsible vendor submitting the lowest and best bid and meeting all specifications and requirements, and that was for biohazardous waste disposal services. We sent out 6 bid packets. We received 3. Our recommended and concurrence with the affected departments is BioOps LLC.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is for the county clerk. This is B1, a request from county clerk for exemption from the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court approved order for major purposes deadline dated October 3rd, 2014, which was the deadline as budget line items were being reviewed and analyzed for funding of needed furniture. And of course, they also had that problem that stopped their ability to ask for this equipment on the deadline. And that I need action on that A item first.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is authority to purchase chairs as detailed in supporting documentation through Gateway Printing through a Tex Mass Cooperative Purchasing Program awarded vendor, which is Gateway Printing, in the amount of $15,352.50 with written confirmation by Gateway that they will receive by 12/31/14.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item C1, Precinct 1, acceptance and approval of final construction contract documents for the project of Sioux Road paving and drainage improvements from Tower to Valverde, awarded on 10/28/14 to 2GS LLC in the total amount of $740,819.60.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D1 for Precinct 2, approval of a correction caption on Agenda Item 47-272, approved on November 10th, for the amount of requisition 266,657 to reflect $47,565.11 instead of $42,196.59 to include labor to install fencing at the Precinct 2 equipment and maintenance facility.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item 2, ratification, a fully executed change order 2, and that's for the equipment maintenance facility with Holchamont, as recommended by project architect ERO. That's for 20 days extension.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is ratification of fully executed change order 3R, increase of $9,795.25, and 74 days in connection with precinct equipment and maintenance facility, as recommended through ERO Architects.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item C, ratification of fully executed authorization 3, construction change order directive, in the amount of $87,074.28 allowance in connection with the equipment and maintenance facility from contracted vendor Holchamont and as recommended by project architect.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Precinct 4, E1A, requesting approval of an on-call professional engineering services agreement with Dos Logistics Incorporated, Road and Bridge CIP, and other projects in general located within Precinct 4.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Requesting approval of an on-call professional surveying services agreement with Dos Land Surveying for surveying services for projects located within Precinct 4.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, requesting approval of an on-call professional services agreement with Harvey L. Hirschen, DBA HLH Appraisal Services for review appraisal services.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
F1 is for HIDA, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A7A, items for which competition is precluded because of existence of patents, copyrights, secret processes, or monopolies. I need the...
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B is approval of a sole source declaration for Celebrite Universal Forensics Products for the purchase of an upgraded version of the UFED system for the logistical touch model, as current model is obsolete and will no longer be supported by Celebrite.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is approval of the HIDA Task Force to purchase the UFED Logical Touch model of the assigned requisition 266620 in the amount of $5,683.99. And this also will include the surplusing of the old model which we are being given, is being done for the purposes of disposition through trade-in, and we're getting a credit of $400 for it.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item G, one for WIC, presentation of the responsible vendor meeting the lowest and best bid for detailed tabulation sheet contained herein, and this was for the purchase of medical gloves. This is done through sealed quotes. Since the past 2 fiscal years, they have not purchased more than $26,000 worth. We sent out 15 packets. We got 2 bids submitted, and we're buying from Emergency Medical Products Incorporated.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
H1 is for facilities. This is presentation of a request from the Edinburgh Boys and Girls Club and pursuant to Hidalgo County Commissioners Court finding under Texas Local Government Code 263, Section 152, 4A, B, C, the disposition of 2 used USA flags from buildings and grounds, which by their condition can no longer be displayed on flagpoles and comply with all the sections of said chapter, thus are ready for donation.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I-1, budget and management approval for Hidalgo County to exercise the second of 2 possible 1-year extensions is provided under RFP number 195, property and casualty insurances. Acceptance and approval of the detailed schedule of premiums, fees, as attached here for the 2015 coverage summary for property and casualty insurance policies in the amount of $2,662,491, effective January 1st, 2015, with authority for county treasurer to issue payments. After review, audit and processing procedures are completed by the auditor, and authority for Valdeguerra, Hidalgo County Executive Officer, to sign any applicable documentation.
Move for approval.
Second.
I wanted to, I know Mr. Montalvo, was he here?
Yes,
Sir.
I know I called yesterday and I got answers to everything that I had questions about, but I still had a concern about differences in conditions. What kind of coverage is that, Toga?
Good morning, staff, commissioners, judge. Basically, what it is mainly international type of coverages, okay? And what I'm saying is that, say, if you were out in, another country.
Out where?
In another country.
Okay.
Okay. We've had this, in fact, ever since we've been handling the account, have had this coverage for you all, so that in the eventuality that something should happen outside of the United States in regard to general liability, accidents, auto type of contingent liability, so forth and so on, that kind of catches that area there. And,
okay.
So
then that would kick in and provide coverage if we had an auto accident, or what about just out of state? Because I mean,
out of state, there's no problem. The other policies will cover that.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
so
That's for out of the country.
Right. So an example is if, say you send Mr. Olivares out to, I don't know, Reynosa.
But they do a lot of multinational.
right. No, I understand that
That's
one.
what the-
And on the issue of coverage for crime, what kind of coverage is that?
That's $500,000 is what you
But
have.
that's the amount, but what does it cover?
Employee dishonesty,
Okay.
for the most part.
What-
And forgery, if somebody should come in and take some checks and forge the county's signature.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions?
That'll do it.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is approval for Hidalgo County to exercise also the first of 2 possible 1-year extensions as provided under the RFP 155 excess workers' compensation insurance, with acceptance and approval of the premiums and fee schedule as submitted through Montalvo Insurance. For the 2015 coverage, the amount is $188,143, effective January 1st, 2015.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under J1, Colonia Access Program Precinct 2, acceptance and approval to execute a professional engineering services agreement for the provision of general engineering services for Border Colonia Round 3 with R. Gutierrez Engineering.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is requesting approval of work authorization 1 for contract number 400 with a proposed fee of $19,584.35 with R. Gutierrez Engineering to provide plans, specifications, estimates, and construction inspection for Round 3 Border Colonia Access Program. And this is for Las Fuentes project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
This is presentation of the bids received and attached here too for, and the approval of the contract, and this is for all funding sources. This is for, I believe, the straw hats. 6 packets sent out, 2 bids received. We are recommending with concurrence by the affected departments of Califas Western Wear Incorporated.
That's your recommendation?
Move for
Yes, I
approval.
need action.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Valde, well, we got several executive sessions.
Yes, sir, we do.
Need a motion to proceed to executive session pursuant to 551-071 and 072 of the Texas Government Code.
Move for approval.
Need a second? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. It's 10:58. We're going to be in executive session. Yes. Este es el de que ponen for an unexpired term, debía de estar metido ahorita. Parece que quieren. All right, we're back in open session. Mr. Guerra?
Thank you, Judge. Under open session, 17A, real estate acquisition, there is no action. 17B, pending and or potential, no action. 17C, Ezequiel Jurado, or it's actually civil action, 713 CV 00262, Jurado et al. Versus Sheriff Guadalupe Trevino of Hidalgo County et al. There is no action to be taken.
We'll proceed as directed.
Oh, well, then, yes, I'm sorry. We'll proceed as directed. Item D, case number 0913-ST026, Montes versus Sheriff's Office. Again, proceed as directed. Item E, Ruelas et al. Versus Hidalgo County. There's no action to be taken at this time.
So we don't need any action on any item?
No, sir.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.